Hey, what's going on, everybody? What is up? It is Saturday morning. How you doing? I know it's been a few days since I've really had, anything posted. I've done, bits and pieces of stuff here and there, but for the most part, I have just chilled the fuck out. I've needed it. I'd been pumping out videos consistently for like 75 days straight. Oh, it was time for a break. So, I just wanted to go ahead and hop over to my little trio of danger that we've got here. I know it has been quite some time since I've been on these guys, almost like a full 30 days. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of pop over to these guys, get all of their fabled gear moved over from all the fabled gear that I had been collecting, and it's time to kill some shit. So, the zone that we are in right now is called Valdeholm, or whatever you want to call it. This is one of the 2 or 3 in-game zones in the Serpents Spine, so this is a level 75 expansion. So yeah, kind of wanted to test the waters out here. I don't think I've ever really leveled here aside from like a streaming group that I was a part of last year. Fuck, it was more than a year ago. It was like almost 2 years ago now. But we're just gonna give this a try. Like I said, I have my group all here. We're gonna beat some shit up. We have everybody completely decked out. Oh my god, we're kind of destroying this stuff. But yeah, I got my fabled gear completely moved over. Wanted to put my group together, just kind of see what kind of damage these guys can do. And of course, I shouldn't even be surprised. These guys are just completely destroying it. We have a fabled blade of war on myself and my berserker. So we're both just putting out pretty insane damage. My rogue has a fabled jagged time-forged blade, fabled hammer of the hammer of crushing waves. We've got basically the best possible damage that we can have. And this content, for the most part, is usually, pretty difficult or fairly close to difficult. But these guys so far are just kind of dropping like flies. I'm not even using all of my different abilities and stuff like that. So it is nice to see these guys are just falling down. I really like this zone. This is probably one of my favorite zones from the Serpent Spine, just because I've always really enjoyed, the frost areas, the ice areas, and the zone is just awesome though. It's designed awesome, it looks awesome. I love the dragons versus giants return. So it is, I don't know, it's just awesome to return to this environment. Gotta get our buffs and everything. Yeah, we're not even using all of our disciplines and all of our abilities, but these guys are just they're just falling down. I'm actually kind of having a little bit of difficulty keeping aggro off of my alts now because they're putting out so much damage. But that's just because, I'm kind of haphazardly playing. I'm not super paying attention. But that's okay. I just wanted to bring these guys here, see how the experience is, and just see how fast we can kind of destroy stuff. And it's nice to know it seems like we're not really having any issue. Stuff is dropping really fast. I haven't stopped to really pay attention what the experience is, but we went too far forward. I love it. Okay, so, and it's not bad experience. I mean, we're getting like 0.5% a kill. Supposedly we're supposed to get, well, these guys are low level. Supposedly we're supposed to be getting some EXP bonus weekend coming up for Memorial Day. I don't know, I haven't seen anything on the calendar. I know Dark Paw has kind of switched to being hush-hush on all of their events. But fingers are crossed for that, because if that's the case, I'm going to utilize that time to get these guys some more experience. God, stuff is just dying so fast here. I kind of expected these guys to all be higher level, but most of these dudes are just level 70. Maybe we're just not in the right area. Yeah, I think we need to make our way around up here to the top. But yeah, a couple years ago, I was a part of a group of people streaming on Twitch that we put together a group of people on Firiona Vie from level 1. The whole point was to level from 1 to 115 at the time. I stuck around from level 1 to about level 100. I ended up dropping off because the group started to kind of frustrate me. Some of the people in the group are just classic EverQuest players, and they have to be in control of basically everything. So it just kind of killed the fun for me. But anyways, I stuck around from 1 to about 100. And this is one of the zones that we leveled in at level 75. We were actually here at 65, and it was a bad time. We got here at 65, super underleveled, and it was really difficult. These guys were just super difficult for us, but we had so many people helping outside of the group that it wasn't that big of a deal. We had basically everybody and their moms and their boxes all outside of the group helping us level, so it was manageable. But we were here from 65 to 72 or 3, I think, because I remember everything was still basically red and yellow for us by the time we left. But I really enjoyed leveling here because we were basically able to clear this entire area, and we ended up moving down to this giant ice pit down here, and that was a cool time. That was actually really cool. There's a whole bunch of spiders and stuff down there, but the whole dragons versus giants war that has been in EverQuest from the get-go has always been, I always thought, was really fucking cool. That's always been super awesome in my opinion, really enjoyable. So anytime EverQuest has done a dragon versus giant event, I've always thought it was just the coolest thing. Thankfully, boxing is easy enough that we can do this stuff, and it's not really a problem. Yeah, this experience is still pretty good. Even with me not having any experience bonuses or anything going on, this is pretty solid. And I really enjoyed Shadow Knight. Every time I talk about leveling a tank class, I'm like, oh, I want to try Paladin. Maybe I'll do Warrior. But then I'll play Shadow Knight again, and I am just reminded by how fucking cool Shadow Knights are. So if you're a Shadow Knight main, you're welcome. No, I'm joking. I just really enjoy Shadow Knights. I feel like they're one of the easier classes to keep aggro on, just due to the sheer amount of the fact that they have dots, they have a snare, they can feign death. Paladins have heals and stuns, which is cool and all, but none of that really seems to be as useful for tanking as Shadow Knight. Stuns and snares. God, we're just doing so much damage. This is kind of insane. And like I said before, I'm not even using all of my different abilities. I haven't really been using any of my cooldowns or anything like that. for my rogues. So the fact that these guys are even dropping this fast is kind of cool. Yeah, this is really good experience. To be honest, if we actually end up moving down to Frost Crypt, that would probably be better experience. But I'm really not a big fan of Frost Crypt, just because it's meant to be like basically just a gateway to getting flagged for the final zones here. So it's not necessarily like an actual group zone. If you think about it, think of it like Planet Earth B. In that case, it's mostly just there for some of the raid targets. So it's not even really worthwhile trying to get in there to grind experience. It's super compact, super tight hallways. It's not worth it to try to get in there and actually hit some experience. But yeah, so this is what my 76 Shadow Knight looks like. I've got Fabled Blade of War. I don't even have any augments on anything. For the most part, I've got these are my stats with all the heroic stats filled out here. We've got essentially the cap of basically every heroic stat except for charisma. I have basically the best Fabled level 75 gear that you can put on a 76 Shadow Knight. My rogue is probably the least geared out of everybody, but just due to his weapons in the first place, that it doesn't necessarily matter. I'm sure my berserker is really close to out DPSing my rogue, if not already out DPSing my rogue. Let's get everyone vilified. Yeah, this stuff is surprising how fast everything seems to be dying here. The dying part, but how easy everything seems to be. Like, most of these enemies really aren't even damaging me that much. I know it helps having some of the gear that I just moved over to this guy, and we've got basically the best that you can have at this level, but yeah, these guys are kind of chunks. Attacking the healer is just not cool, man. Yeah, but anyways, this Fabled Blade of War is fucking awesome. And all in all, with the Fabled event, I ended up getting 7 or 8 Fabled Blades of War. So I've got them kind of staggered out over different characters. So I really just need to end up... I need to sell them eventually. I'm going to wait till it gets really dry towards the end of the year when everyone's in here trying to level up characters. Oh, and speaking of, that reminds me. So on the way here, because I ran here, on the way here, I came across several large groups of people leveling. Like, they actually looked like leveling groups, not just box groups. It was kind of nuts. Like, like all in the low-level zones too, so it wasn't even just like high-level zone enemies or high-level zones, groups of people. I'm talking like level 10, level 20, level 25. Several groups of people just there EXPing. I keep forgetting how much I love Firiona Vie for the actual amount of people that are here leveling. Because I'm sure it does help the fact that there is an EXP bonus, but more than anything, I think the biggest reason is the fact that, attack guys, I think the biggest reason is the free trade. I really think Darkpaw continues to underestimate how important free trade is to some people now that they've had it for Mischief and Firiona Vie. Like, it helps so much to keep a server alive because people can actually casually get the items that they want without having to kill themselves raiding. Does the mischief random like double loot help? Yes, I'm sure it does. But I think the biggest reason is just due to the fact that it's the EXP bonus and it's free trade. Just that stacked on top of each other. And Firiona Vie is just always so popular. I mean, who doesn't want to be on a server like that whenever we're getting... Ooh. Juggernaut's proficiency level 100. What? What? My Berserker's level... Huh? Why did I just get maximum proficiency for Frenzy at level 100, but my Juggernaut's 75? I don't understand this game sometimes. My Juggernaut just got an achievement for maximum proficiency for a skill for level 100, but he's level 75. So I must be missing something. Maybe that skill just doesn't go up at all from here, because it's for Frenzy, and you know, anybody who plays Berserker, Frenzy is like their big damage ability. So think of like Backstab, but for Berserkers. Ooh, Lore Master of the Ages, huh? So hopefully we don't end up pulling like a fuck ton of people here. But anyways, I love this zone. It looks cool. It's badass. It is, you know, it's giants. What's not to love about this zone? Nice. We are leveling up really well here. And anybody who has listened to me talk about EverQuest recently or has watched any of my videos of my alts, one thing I said is that I wanted to keep my group at like 75, 76. What I've decided is I'm going to continue leveling them at least maybe to level 80 or 85. I'm just going to keep their gear at level 75. Because I kind of want to do something as like a personal achievement for myself. I want to see what kind of raid content these guys can take down with just like level 75 gear. But of course, they need some additional levels because we're going to make up for a crowd of people that we're not going to have. But what I want to do is I just want to see what kind of content we're capable of beating with a group of level 75s. And when I say a group, I mean 3 level 75s and 3 mercenaries. I want to see what content we're able to beat up. There are going to be some exceptions that we're just not going to be able to do because it requires additional people behind keyboards, certain scripts and stuff like that. But I just want to see what we can do with these guys otherwise, because for the most part, most of the Planes of Power stuff, we can get instance versions of those through Agents of Change, and they allow mercenaries. So I can still have a full group of 6 people, and we can see what content we can beat up. For a lot of the newer expansion stuff, those are all like, what's the word I'm looking for? There's specific zones that don't allow mercenaries. In layman's terms, it is very much like there are specific zones that will not allow us to have mercenaries spawned in. There's nothing we can do about that. That's just how the game is designed. That's what they wanted, so... but because of that, we're not going to be able to summon mercenaries, so we're automatically going to be shortchanged on those expansions. But I feel like, you know, level 75, level 76, 77 or so, I feel like we should actually be able to take on some of the old school planar content. And that's what I want to try. And if I have a full group of, you know, 3 mercenaries and 3 level 75 or 76 characters, I think we should be able to get through a vast majority of the Planes of Power stuff. Because a lot of those raid bosses are still level 75 or 75 to 80, especially in Plane of Time. And I think it would be kind of a cool achievement to be able to be like, look, I mean, these guys were still even con to me or even red or yellow, and we were able to duo or trio it. I think that would be cool is all, you know what I mean? I know that's just like, that probably doesn't matter to a lot of people, but I've beaten all those raid bosses on my high level characters just because they're so much higher level. So what I think would be cooler would be to try it on a non-super high level character. Let's try it on like an even con character, or maybe just a little bit above it. God, these things just die so quick. This might actually be just a little bit difficult because we're about to have a whole lot of enemies on top of us. Well, at least we're able to take this for the most part pretty easily still. Kind of stagger out our damage so everybody's doing damage on a different enemy. Let's take the aggro from our healer. My poor little healer. There we go. Let's get them all back on me. We're just fine. I kind of expected these guys to be all higher level. I don't know why I thought they were a different level, but oh well. So for the most part, 75, 76. Really curious to see how good this experience is going to be next weekend. With that EXP bonus if we actually get one. See, this is nice. We don't even have Lesson of the Devoted popped yet, but I am really happy with this group though. What I wanted all that Fabled gear for was so I can deck out these guys at level 75, use all some of my favorite items from Planes of Power, just Fabled versions of them, and just see what content we can beat up, and this has been really fun. I've enjoyed every bit of this. I don't think there's ever really been a point where I've been like, oh, this isn't any fun. I don't like this. This isn't what I thought it was going to be. This has been really cool. And with 3 characters, I can just Alt-Tab, I can just turn their attack on, and it's not so bad. Where are we? Oh, we're all the way up here. Let's go over here. I do love this zone though, like the fact that these guys all still worship Ralosek. God, I know I've talked about it before, but I just think that this whole expansion was so fucking cool. Because we got, for the first expansion in years, so many years, we finally got new content for low-level people. We got a new race, we got a new starting zone, and that new race, for the most part, was able to super customize it because they were all a part of different dragons. So you could, like, have different colors for them. You had a zone from start to finish that you could level from level 1 to 75 on a whole new continent. That is so cool. In my opinion, I thought that was so cool. And that's, I mean, we just haven't had anything like that since then. Like House of Thule introduced, you know, some of the other content for us that was pretty cool, like it redid playing Firiona and stuff like that. But nothing since then has given us new content for level 1 people. If there's one thing I could wish for from EverQuest, is that they would do something like that again. Because there's been so much in-game content that's been added that has just been built upon and built upon and built upon, but there's been nothing that would entice a new person to come back to play, in my opinion. I think it would be really cool if they introduced a whole new expansion that was like, alright guys, for this expansion, for this new class, for this new race, you can play any class on this race, any at all. You can completely customize the character. You have a whole new continent that you can level from like 1 to 120. something like that. You know what I mean? I think that would be badass. I know I've also talked about this in the past where I've said it would be cool if they gave us a server with completely removed restrictions from class race combinations. So you could have like an ogre monk, you could have a troll wizard, you could have a froglock shadow knight, you could have an Ixar rogue, where you could just literally say fuck it. I mean, I want to play anything I want. So I just think that would be really cool. You'd have some really cool new class race combinations. I mean, hell, give us an undead race or something like that. There's so many options I feel like that have just been left unexplored for EverQuest. Just because, for the sake of keeping the endgame people happy, they have to keep making new expansions to continue that endgame for people, which they could do so much better. If you want to make a lot of other people happy, give us a whole new experience from 1 to 120. Here we go. These guys are getting higher and higher level. I know. I understand with a game like EverQuest, bigger number must mean better. Everything like that. It's all about, you know, stacking on numbers so the in-game people that have been playing for 20 years are still happy with their purchase. But why not give us something else? I mean, hell, those in-game people will survive if they have, you know, one expansion without having to focus. You know what I mean? Redo the experience. Kind of like, I don't want to compare it to what World of Warcraft is doing with Dragonflight, like where they're refocusing on the focus of Azeroth. But I think that is something that EverQuest could really benefit from. Like, just refocus everything back on what makes EverQuest awesome and why people keep coming back to it. Refocus it, redo it, you know, add some cool spice to it, and bring everyone back to the same central zones. Because that's what's so difficult about trying to level on a live server currently, is if you come into a live server now, you're going to have 50% of the player base in content and in zones that most people don't even know exist. If you bring back like a centralized zone and say, all right, this is the main focus of the new expansion here. We have these, you know, 15 new zones, and suddenly everybody is in those 15 new zones. The world is going to feel way more alive than it has in a really fucking long time. Because what makes an MMO is the MMO part of it. Massive multiplayer online. If it doesn't feel massive because there's no one in the same zones as you, you're losing your focus. If you're missing the people, then it's not really going to feel that massive after all. It's going to feel like a single player experience with an auction house. And this experience has been really fucking solid. I'm gonna have to keep this place in mind from now on. Lore Master of War, huh? Yeah, these dudes are all much higher level. This is nice. Oh, got an ad. Stay on me. I completely forgot to pop Lesson of the Devoted, which is kind of dumb because on Firiona Vie now, Lesson of the Devoted you can pop basically like every 10 or 11 hours or something like that, which is just a free 100% experience boost for 30 minutes that you can do, you know, once or twice a day, depending on how often you're playing. Yeah, back here. Okay, so this is where a large portion of my grind session was with that streamer group about 2 years ago. Up here, because this is where we get to the highest level enemies. Stuff is like level 75, 76, 77. So this is where the bulk of the good experience is. No, I'm losing my thorns. That is a-okay. This might actually be where we start to face just a little bit of a challenge from these guys. Because these guys are going to start hitting like trucks. Yeah, 1,000, 1,000, 1,600. Which is a lot. Because if you consider what they would be hitting my squishy characters for, it's a lot of damage. Hitting for 1,600 whenever you have, you know, 1,200 AC, it's a different story. So this is going to be a whole lot of enemies right here. This is going to hurt. Oh yeah, 4 enemies. Oh, that's why there's a name. Okay, let's focus on the big dude before he starts killing my my healer. Actually had to tab through a few different windows there. Start popping some disciplines. Okay, so the fact that we were able to do that pretty comfortably, I'm really happy with. I did not expect that to be as easy as it was. We took on a name and like 5 different enemies, all of which are white and yellow cons to us, so that has given me hopes for what content we're going to start being able to beat up soon. Nice, I hit 77. And would you look at that, my healer still has 50% mana. God, this zone looks so fucking cool though. I just like the way, it's awesome. It looks so solid. This is before, in my opinion, this is before all the graphics turned into like a whole smushed schmegma of just mess. Because so many of the graphics later on just look so smushed. They just don't look that good in my opinion. A lot of the colors will really start to blend together because EverQuest, their biggest problem is how many different shades of beige can we use? And the answer is all of them. That's what EverQuest thinks that they should use. Everything should be neutral beige. Yep. Here's where my group ended up leveling up a lot. God, that whole room looks like that is just gonna hurt. But yeah, this is where we leveled a lot. These guys are 77, 78, so that is saying something. And my Shadow Knight got so many more AAs when he hit 77. That's kind of nuts. Okay, so we hit 77. We got our group up here. I feel like this is going to be a great place for us to kind of finish out for the day. Let's get us a cool little group look here. Alright, so that is going to be it for now, folks. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.